welcome back to the Armenian Museum of America. I'm Gary Lind-Sinanian, the curator, and I'd like to share another artifact in our collection with you, or a group of artifacts. This metal plate was recently donated to the museum by Hag Demoyan. Dr. Demoyan was the director of the Genocide Museum in Yerevan and is now the director of the Gyumri Museum in the city of Gyumri, Armenia. And this came from the Karagheusian factory. It says Herati. Herati rugs. Herat is, of course, a city in Afghanistan, but the Herati rugs had nothing to do with Afghanistan. It was a marketing device they used. The two brothers came from a family of import-export merchants in Istanbul, Constantinople, and they had originally moved to London in the 1890s. They found that they import-export, and they decided then to move to New York and try their hands at New York. They opened a business in New York. Originally, they were importing and exporting rugs, or importing rugs, rather, they weren't exporting, to the United States. But and they realized that they were very enterprising, these two brothers, and they've tried all sorts of things. They wrote the first book in English on Oriental rugs by an Armenian. This is a copy of the book right here. And so as I said, very enterprising fellows. They tried their hands at many different things, and they realized that when you're dealing with rugs and import, it's a long time lag. You have to order the rugs, they have to be made in the old country, has to be shipped over. There's a lot of delay. And so they decided it would be more practical to make their own rugs in America. So they opened up a factory in looms, and they began making rugs. And one of their favorite lines of rugs was the Herati brand of rugs. This is one of the advertisements that they used to use for promoting the rugs. And if you look inside the booklet, for instance, this is how large their factory was. It was a huge enterprise. Each of the looms they used weighed 15 tons. They had 27 looms in the factory making rugs. And so they were very prolific and very successful. And they made rugs for many years. And the factory was in the town of Freehold, New Jersey. And it was the largest employer in Freehold. Everybody in the town worked in the factory, or they had a cousin that worked in the factory. It was a dominant business in that town. And this is, like I said, one of the brochures they would use to advertise the products they made. The products were very detailed, flowery style, not typical like the Armenian style, which tends to be more geometric. But they were going with the market, and this is what the market wanted. And if the market changed, they could change immediately their looms in order to create a new product for their market as the market changed. Very enterprising gentlemen. And as I said, they wrote a book about their experiences. This is about the rugs. This is a little history they wrote of their business, very detailed about the years when the business was active, etc. And you can find information about them in Wikipedia if you want to look it up, for instance. Another interesting aspect of this object is its association with Bruce Springsteen, the musician. Bruce Springsteen was born in Freehold, New Jersey. And in the song, "This Is My Hometown," which was the refrain of the song, which that came out on the record Born in the USA, the LP, and one of the cuts was, "This Is My Hometown." And in My Hometown was talking about Freehold, and in the song, he's talking about how the town is falling apart, and it's becoming divisive, and how the textile factory across the river closed down. And his father had worked at the textile factory. That textile factory was the Karagheusian factory. When it closed in the 1960s, and the business went south. They closed the business, they sold the factory, the looms, and it was all shipped down to South Carolina. As so much of the businesses in the northeast and the Midwest all went south because of the lack of unions and cheaper labor. And of course, later on, they then got moved outside the country. And so the South became depressed too. But this is associated with Bruce Springsteen, of all things, the story behind this particular piece. One of many pieces in our collection, of course. The Armenian Museum is here to share our stories, our history, our culture with the public. We thank you for joining us. If you go onto our website, you'll find information on how to become a member of the museum. And we'd love to have you join the ranks of Alma's supporters. Thank you for coming and watching, and until next time, stay safe.